What's up, girlfriend?
What's good, Logan?
What's good, Big Daddy?
So I'm wearing these old snow pants because I had to go run errands and I need my legs to be warm. I just found a big wad of cash in the back pocket. It's pretty good.
Wow, people really like owls.
You sound like you're underwater again. People like owls?
Yeah, I sound like I'm underwater.
Yeah, you sound all muffled.
Okay, just a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, help me out. I'm trying to figure out where the mic is on this tablet. So is it, do I sound louder here right now? Or do I sound quieter here or louder here? Can you tell the difference?
Yeah, you sound a little quieter in the second one.
Really? Oh, perfect. That means the mic's on the top of the tablet. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Make me a co host since you told me to ask. Just tell me if there's anyone you don't want coming up because I'm just accepting all the shit.
Hi. Hi, ATS. I don't think I've met you before, have I?
Hey Logan, how are you doing?
What?
Everyone- yeah, I'm good. What about you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I remember you now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, exactly. I just changed my display photo. I just changed my, might be, I just changed my username as well. So what's up? What's going on? The space after the space. What space?
The space right before this one.
That was before this
Wrath you out
one.
of a space called Purgatory.
There was a space before this one. That was before this one.
That's true. Hey, Rafi, what are you doing here? I thought you were going to sleep.
Well, now I have a second wind.
He fallen asleep.
Oh, yeah. Actually, this is a good place to crash. I have a couple of friends coming here in a little while to pass out, too.
I almost did.
I do every day.
Well, the name is appealing, the space after the space. I'm here because of the banner you put on.
There's a banner?
Yeah, it's called the
Well,
space after the space. So it's quite interesting. Like 10 people just drop out of the name of the banner, man. That was a
exactly,
brilliant move.
exactly.
What's so interesting about the title of the room? It's just nothingness. It's just a space after the space. It doesn't mean anything.
Really, you think
What's
that?
so interesting
You
about
think that? I
What
think
do you
the opposite. The
What's
opposite.
so interesting
The
about it?
space after the space, which
And
will
it's
be
also
when.
before the space too, because there's gonna be a before.
I
Wait
came
a
You
in.
want to
minute.
fight,
I
bro?
just dropped. I
We
just
were
dropped
in
1
a
minute
space.
ago. I dropped 1 minute ago, and then the little time that I've been here, 10 people drop about. And so what? How would they drop about? I think it's the name.
I came in
You
here to fall asleep.
that's cool, Heather.
I'm sensing a
You-
little bit of hostility in your voice. You're gonna have to.
I noticed that too. I'm sorry this place didn't
What?
live up to your
What do you
expectations.
say? A little bit of
They
possibility
think
in my
you're a
voice.
troll.
A little bit of possibility in my voice. Did you say?
Nah, you're a troll.
Did that.
Hostility. Is that a
A
fake
little
accent?
boy, what?
Yeah, Kenny Cannonball's
No,
been
no,
a bunch
no,
of-
no. I'm just saying that the banner that you put in was wonderful, man.
So
Oh,
let
that's
me just
great.
help you out for a second. It's not called a banner. It's just called like a title or like maybe I don't know, maybe even a headline. But it's more just a title, really. A banner is more like something that's like kind of artistic.
You could just say the header.
That's good.
Yeah, correct. But it's
Header's
interesting.
always good.
What will
Have you
be
ever
after
seen
the space of
UFOs?
the space?
Most of the time.
Yeah, as long
Ken,
as there's no
what's your
teeth.
UFO story?
What do you guys think? What will be the space after the space? Then maybe when you die, what will be
Well,
after?
were you in the space before
No, we're
the
in the
space,
space.
or are you just complaining?
We're in the space, but maybe you will be in another
Jesus
space.
Christ. Okay, so we were in a space before this one hosted by Rafi here. So we came to this space, and this is the space after the space.
Yeah, I had to go ahead and remove him because we're just not going to talk about it anymore. Jesus
I was gonna
Christ.
say, just kick him.
What the fuck just happened?
He's got a hard on for the banner for some reason.
I
He's
gotta
one
do
of
this
those
again? Okay,
contrarians.
so
It's not
we
a
were
banner,
just in a
Logan. It's a
space,
title.
and then
You know what? You don't owe anybody anything, Screen. You don't even owe.
He's a contrarian troll.
You don't owe anyone anything.
he's actually not. He comes in a couple
I think
times.
he likes to hear himself talk, to be honest with you. It's okay. I mean, like, sometimes people like the sound of their own voice. But not in the space after the space.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the new Ryan Graves podcast, personally.
Hey, gang. Love you all.
Damn it, Kimball's a co-host.
Yeah, what's oh, Alien Protocols is here. We got a lot. We've been getting like what's it called? Spoiled with Buddy lately, man. We get so much of them. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you,
He
Logan.
gives
Thank
it all.
I love it. I feel like I'm in lecture hall. I listen to it when I'm working. Makes me smarter. Makes me work smarter, too.
Same.
Hey, you know how we were talking about Tartary earlier? At that exact, oh my God, Missy, Jesus Christ! I saw her make a post about Tartary, like around the time that we were talking about Tartary, and I was like, "There's no way that's like coincidence." She must have heard us talking about it and made a post about it, right? So I asked her, I was like, "You heard us
Right.
talking about it, right?" She's like, "Nah, I couldn't get into there." Like, what? She just happens to be talking about Tartary at this exact same time we're talking about it. What the fuck?
Are you talking about
No, she
Tartarians?
heard.
Who is Bungle? They had me blocked for some reason. I don't know why.
Jules.
Oh yeah, Screen, you hurt her feelings, by the way. This is what she said. I hope she's not listening. Anyway, so I said, "Did you hear us talking about Tartary like 20 minutes ago?" She said, "Nope. I took a break from the UFO group after that situation with your co-host last week. Some guy was talking about monolithic structures, and I had 3 pages of notes full of inaccuracies. I didn't feel like I was contributing as much as I could be, but not for a lack of effort. People have so many things wrong and don't care to listen to me when I try to help them by telling them about the proven research I have done. They prefer confirmation bias to reality. And if I can't get through to people and feel like I have to constantly prove myself just to share my decades of research, then it is a closed door. I could be somewhere where the door is open. People think I'm arrogant or rude or talk too much, but I'm just desperately trying to make people see that disinformation isn't doing them or the community any favors. There's plenty of crazy conspiracy, hidden history, and paranormal in the facts to go around that we don't need to jump the shark for people to be interested. So she seems really upset.
Can I?
Yeah, you know why she got so upset? I dropped her off the mic.
Is that the
She
girl
was
who's been-
talking all over everybody, and I dropped her and somebody else at the same time, and I had already dropped the other person a couple times. I think it was Liam actually, and you know, because like I even explained it to her. I said you can't have like 3-4 alpha talkers in a group at the same time on the mic, because you know you weren't doing hands or nothing like that, and so yeah, all I did was drop her to listener. That's why she's so mad.
She has lit into me, calling me like a liar, and I don't know what truth is, and all these things. And it's like, oh my gosh, wow. And I still will try to reach out to her with care, because she's got, you know, there's a little anger under the hood there, a little pressure.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in real quick and say it is nice when you can just like free flow the conversation. I find though I get too excited and I'll start like stepping over people. So I'll use my hand. It's like I don't know, it's my little mind fuck to make me not interrupt. But you just got to say to people that are like that, you say, okay, well, I really love having you here and I appreciate when you're here, and come to the space whenever you feel like, right? Like, I don't know, you don't have to take on other people's emotions, but you can still empathize and be like, I'm sorry that, you know, you didn't get to share what you wanted to, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also I can't read like a book worth of messages either, you know.
She was like challenging me to like a duel on Twitter. Like, I wanted to have a live debate with you on Twitter about truth. And it was like, oh my gosh, wow. And then she just kept saying, you know, snotty things about me, or total inaccuracies. And then all of a sudden I got like 2 other accounts saying nasty things about me for the first time like ever. So it's all the same person, you know.
Hey, buddy, what did you do on Linda Moulton House show?
I've done
Which
quite a few
time?
things. I've done predictions. I've done viewings of a few different events. I've done incredible predictions about Ukraine. It was really pretty stunning. And a lot of different viewings. I did a viewing of Trappist system as well, which was really good. And another controversial viewing. Quite a few different things.
My controls for Lacey are not working. Message to front desk.
She's a really wonderful person. I mean, in person, she's even more, you know, soul candy than she is on her show. She really is. And she's tiny, though, too. You don't realize how tiny she is. She's just this tiny, wonderful, brilliant, visionary little ball of energy.
Oh man, she is tiny.
Hey, what competition did you win for, like, didn't you win like Miss America or something?
I think she was a gymnast or something, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like in 1969, she won like Miss America, I think, something like that.
Hey, buddy, do you have any thoughts on Paul H. Smith?
Oh, the remote viewer guy.
Correct.
I'd rather not say anything, you know. I don't know enough to, you know, and I'd just rather not say something, you know.
That's fine. Just curious.
There's a few there, you know, few people that, you know, just differing thoughts, you know. Some people take this stuff to weird places. It's really interesting. Len Buchanan tells people he puts a special, secret remote influence thing in his students, that they won't use remote influence, or, all these weird things. Everyone has different weird stuff. And there's that guy who has the girls, and a few people do those like really sensational type viewings, and crypto, and a lot of like really sensationalized stuff. Forgetting his name. I can't remember. But everyone has different styles, and I'm weird and quirky myself, and a loner, and everyone's different. But I think there's a small handful of people who are doing some really interesting things, and I think there are every generation.
Go ahead, Bungle.
I just wondered if Alien had done any remote viewing on Mars or anything like that.
Yeah, I've done Mars at different time periods. It was inhabited when it had oceans, had civilization, and it's inhabited now.
Did you ever sort of guide yourself towards those areas that Richard Hoagland used to talk about, like the face and the pyramids and things?
I didn't find Cydonia to be a real city. I found a different colonization of more current beings, and then way back in history. And so it makes me very curious about our gray aliens' origins.
That's interesting.
I keep getting different places on different viewings. Some viewings I'll get, that they're strictly a second generation life form created originally by a probe that came into our solar system, millions and millions of years ago. And then I get other types of things too. So it's weird, you can only tell how good a remote viewer is on non-verifiable targets by at least how good they are with verifiable ones. So
how do you actually, when you're going to view when you want to view remote view, how do you sort of pick your targets and look, and what do you do? Do you use a grid reference, or do you just does someone tell you where they want you to look? Or
like Astral has done a few here on the channel, and he has one running now. I did the last two ones. It was the live one and a one where it's a double blind image. He doesn't pick the image. I think someone else picked it. And for me, everyone has different techniques. For me, I have been doing Astral since I was a kid, so I just do that. That's the most accurate for me.
I used to do something with my sister years ago. We used to be able to sit in different rooms with flashcards that had got triangles and squares and wavy lines and things on them. And we'd have a friend that would go between the two rooms, and we'd say what we were holding up and match it to the one that that my sister was holding up on the other side of the wall. And we were pretty accurate with it, but I think siblings are there, aren't they? Sort of. I think everybody gets that sort of
they say
ability with family.
Cohesive people have a big percentage increase in accuracy.
You said you and your sister did Astral.
No, him and his sister used to do this thing.
We used to use some special flashcards. I can't remember what they're called, but they are specifically for...
the wavy lines, the triangle, the square.
Yeah, it was like wavy lines, triangles, squares, circles,
you were doing
half moons.
Very difficult challenge, and you did very well on a very, very difficult thing. Zener cards are really a test. It's not like a practice thing. It's like a very difficult test, because the subconscious mind doesn't like really ordered things,
But I've always found that when I've done things like that, it's a weird process for me, because when I've been accurate with things like that, it's been before I've had time to think about it. So I get a gut feeling before the thought process starts. So
That's it.
if
You got it.
someone was going to hold up a circle, I'd get like a gut feeling that it was a circle before I'd had time to think about it. If I sat and thought about
It
it,
would just leap to your mind.
I'd leave it to my mind and I'd go through every different shape and pick the wrong one. But it's like this feeling you get before you have the thought.
Yes, it's called a gestalt, and it's universally felt by accurate viewings and accurate ESP incidents. So you felt it. That was the gestalt, this idea that comes to you from the most sublime, least conscious place, least intentional.
It was before I'd had time to actually think about it, if you know what I mean. It was like the thought. It was before the thought process kicked in. If I'd thought about it, I would have picked the wrong shape. But it was like a gut feeling that came before the thought process and the analysis in my mind started. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do completely. And you have to listen to it. And for me, sometimes it comes before they even give me a target. I'll get, and they have a name for it. It's called advanced perception. And you write down what that advanced perception is. And, 9 times out of 10, my advanced perception is right. And it's weird. You can even do it in a very precognitive way before it's even chosen.
So with this remote viewing tomorrow night, is there more than one picture in the envelope? Is that the dealio?
The dealio.
Or did I misread that or misunderstand it? Probably both.
I think it's just one.
Oh, okay. I got confused.
Hey, buddy. So I had a couple of things happen today that were kind of interesting that kind of remind me of what you just said, like advanced perception or something. So one thing was like this morning I had this like urge to call this friend of mine, which I've never had this particular urge before, but I was just like I got distracted and just ended up not doing it. But I found out later that this person actually did call me at that like exact time around that. I don't know if it was the exact time exactly, but it like was around that same time. It probably was, I bet, that same time. And I was thinking like I think I like knew they were calling me, and that's why I had that urge. I think all of a sudden, I knew that they needed to talk to me.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Has that ever happened to you like that?
Oh yeah, big time. And you get to learn about the little quirky things. The universe does. It's almost like you're playing chess against a computer. The universe has a very repetitive way of dealing with things. Have you ever had like a really lucky streak, and then all of a sudden your lucky streak goes out, or you have like a really crappy streak with like statistical luck or something?
Mm-hmm.
There's the universe like does tricks, and will knock you off your rhythm, and there are ways to get back on that rhythm. And it's kind of like, you can either be subject to the wave, or you can kind of like pump and get more energy out of it, like surfers do, and you get these sensations, and it's universal. It's so interesting. It's so stunning that this isn't taught from very young age.
Yeah, another thing that happened was I was thinking about Grandpa Joe for like the first time in like forever, probably. Or I can't think of the last time I thought of him, but I was thinking of him earlier because Dr. Science Bob was in here, I think. I was like, damn, we should have Grandpa in here. And he all of a sudden he pops up just like moments later, and it was like, what?
Was weird. I thought earlier today someone was talking about him, saying they hadn't seen him in a long time, and I heard the conversation, and that might have, I don't know. That's really weird. But you get these things, and it happens, and you just, you learn how the waves work, and you can get into a little rhythm and be like, oh, I feel it now. I feel it. And you
how do you do it?
Well, there's different things. Like for a great training tool is the ESP trainer, because you will find situations in doing that you find in real world, like occupational or client stuff. So the example I just gave of being in a great groove, and then losing the groove, I know what to do now to recover. And what I will do is the complete polar opposite type of esoteric practice. So if I'm doing a really fast ESP trainer, because that's making me be less conscious, and I am not doing well, I'll stop and realize, okay, that rhythm is gonna keep going. So I'm gonna do the complete polar opposite. I'm gonna do very slow and pensive and thoughtful, and really feel over each color to see which one has the target underneath it. And when I do that, it works. And when the opposite happens as well too, if I start really poorly, I know how to flip it. After like 3 or 4 that are really shitty, I'll be like, okay, I know I have to do the complete polar opposite technique, and it almost always picks up. There's things like that you learn. Oftentimes, you'll discover that you are seeing one step ahead. You will call the next color, but you're actually seeing the one after that. And people do that a lot. And then once they discover it, you can kind of recalibrate yourself to be like, okay, I'll go yellow now. Now I'll go. And you feel these rhythms. And there's things you can do to break through the plateaus you get into with ESP Trainer. And those things you can do are things you can use in other esoteric practices. There's something I use in the important stuff, or a big deal, or I really need extra juice on something. It's the cosmic egg, the battery that's in your lower belly, and you can pump that energy into something. It's a very involved subject about the battery and how to utilize it and stuff, but it's really a fascinating and incredible reality. So there's lots of ways to get at this stuff, and you should play and have fun with it. You never fail. If try, if you can't fail, then try big, dream big, fail huge. Yeah, because you can't fail. You'll be learning something each time. You'll feel the signal more. You'll be like, oh, I thought of that before and I didn't go with it first. And all the things you learn to improve your percentages, because ultimately it's about percentages.
That's exactly how it's been for me. It's like the knowing what's coming, but not going with it because you've thought about it too much. I wanted to ask you something else. Have you ever seen any of the tests that they do on ESP, where they've actually people have anticipated pictures that have been brought up on a screen, and they've actually monitored facial recognition, and people will react to a disturbing picture of something traumatic before it's actually shown to them a split second before they see it?
Yeah, that's a true fact. It's been repeated by different institutions.
Yeah, I did. When I did my master's a few years ago, I did it in psychological research methods as an extension of my nursing qualification, and I was actually we had a few sort of lectures on people being able to preempt things. They didn't directly call it ESP or anything, but it was hinting at that. And they were saying that there's research suggesting it's some kind of survival method that we developed a long time ago to sort of preempt situations and sort of tap into something.
As these different beings, our ancestors evolved so much, and our ancestors dealt with reality on a sensory level and a processing level and a memory level and a learning lessons level and a subconscious level. And, we're reading the fabric of reality, whether we're seeing it, hearing it, tasting something, and ESP is just another extension of that.
Do you think positive mental attitude has a sway with it as well? I've noticed that in some difficult situations I've gone
Huge
into.
component. It's a huge component. Belief brings the thought and the desire from the conscious mind to the subconscious. When you really believe something, it moves this kind of authority to your subconscious mind, and you'll see again and again people use objects that, you know, it's called a magic feather, but these different objects will be the thing that makes them have a deeper belief, whether it's dowsing or it can be even a cross, and I'm Christian. It can be channeling. It can be a specific modality like just mediumship. But if you can do one of these, if you can connect to the, you know, the data field, if you can connect to the everything, then you can do all the different stuff.
I was talking about something similar not long ago in another space with another person that's a healthcare worker, and we were talking about strange experiences we've had sort of over the years, but one of the strangest with me has always been the power of prayer. And I actually, and this person I was talking to agreed with me. We've seen people that have, I saw somebody on one occasion that was very, very, very ill, gravely ill, a young person. There wasn't much difference in age between me and them, and they'd had some serious drink and drug problems in the past, and it had affected them to the point where they were in after they were trying to they were having to have dialysis and all sorts and waiting for a transplant, and they were actually, their parents were still visiting them and got the local congregation at the church that they went to pray, and their parents would pray with them when they came. And I can remember senior health professionals being quite shocked at test results that had improved unexpectedly after things like that had happened, and like blood test results that were sort of calcium levels and iron deficiency levels, and they'd not had medication to improve it. These were blood tests to determine what treatment they were going to get. And then the following day, they just massively improve without explanation.
Healing prayers have been studied really well, and the statistical evidence for it is, you know, completely overwhelming.
It's massive.
And it's
massive. But
and if it works like that, then also that would be considered psychokinesis. You're affecting something at a distance, and you're healing something at a distance.
But I've also seen people that have had a positive mental attitude with things like cancer. And I looked after a little boy a number of years ago when I was fairly newly qualified who'd got leukemia. And the prognosis wasn't good. But he used to tell me every night that when he went to sleep, he imagined that the cancer was like Space Invaders, and he was blasting it away in his dream every night, and he recovered. And it was very much about, it appeared to be very much about positive mental attitude, and thinking about fighting something also helps, or believing in something, believing that you're going to win. Or
You know who died today? Jeff Beck died today.
That's weird. He seemed so young. Wasn't he like in his 40s or 50s?
At least I don't really know.
No, he was in his 70s. I posted an article on that.
Really? Wow. I just see him from
I thought the same thing.
The loser video. He's just always young in your mind.
Yes.
I'm a loser, baby. So oh my god, I forgot the song he wrote. Is that his biggest hit?
Who the hell?
Beck is different from Jeff Beck. Beck is the loser guy. Jeff Beck was, I think, guitarist for the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
Eric Clapton. I think Beck replaced Eric Clapton in some band, damn it.
Ocean, I like your pig. It's hair in the ears. It's cute.
Okay.
What? Sorry, I was on another page. What? My profile picture. My little. Yeah. No, that's totally what my pig would look like in this universe. She a hell hog after all. CIA hell hog.
She is. I like her eyes.
You still not get your account back, Screen?
Yay.
I got into it earlier today for about 15 minutes or so, and then I'm waiting on it again.
What happened again? Seriously?
Yeah, it's just being tied up, right? Because like the tweets that it's saying are like it's nothing in them. So yeah, it's just like the robot doing a thing, I guess.
Good. Shit.
And when you're remote viewing, how do you know what you're seeing? Something that's like and not something that's just your imagination.
You learn over time. That's the real difficult thing, is separating the consciousness from the subconsciousness. And your consciousness can get very subtle, to the point where you're asking yourself, was that a truly subconscious thought, or was that a conscious thought? It's a very thin line when you think about it. And you learn through different things how to not just have the signal be louder, but also how to reduce the noise. And it becomes like a familiar note almost. And most viewers describe when they really are locked into a target and are getting great info and they're incredibly accurate, that they feel that. And I feel it too. If an astral is incredibly vivid and really immersive, interactive experience, it's usually very accurate. So there's tricks and tools, and people have known that the subconscious is the seat of all this super intelligence or even ability to tap into some field. I was talking earlier today about Thomas Edison doing auto inquisition, where he would have a question, a pen and a pad, and a metal ball in his hand and a pan on the floor, and he'd fall asleep on a sofa or a chair. And when he dropped the ball, it'd wake him up from sleep. He'd be half subconscious, and he'd immediately write down whatever came to his mind, even if it didn't have to do with the question he asked. And that's what you do. You learn the system, and then you just repeat the system. You've seen me here, right? Have you seen me work on any of this stuff live?
Me?
Anybody? People say stuff, but you have to see how people really do,
Yeah, I've seen you do it. Yeah.
I saw you do it on Linda's.
Me too.
On Linda's podcast.
And here I did the two different challenges. I named the young dark-skinned boy with a boy behind him, and the second target was a peacock. I said it by name. That was crazy. And then the other target, the last one last week, my drawing looks like exactly like it. It has the arch, the bridge. I don't know if you guys checked it out or not, but some of them, it was super great drawing. It was very accurate.
Yes, yours was. I remember it.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's weird. And I've worked with researchers and people who are well known in the scientist circles that work in this area or utilize people who do this stuff. And
Yeah, I remember that one, Alien Protocols. That was wild. Didn't you write it out? I remember you said it in the space and then you wrote it out just how you said it, I'm pretty sure. And then there was another one you drew. I think it was I don't remember now, but it was pretty much the exact same. It's amazing.
I mean,
I think nothingness meditations helps a lot.
So, what type of energy do you think brainwaves are? Are they electrical? Are they
They
I
are
don't know,
electric. They're chemicals.
I'm guessing they're not vibration.
They're actually real electric frequencies. It's anywhere from 0.03 hertz up to some people can pump their gamma up to a really high level. That's now being called lambda, a super high gamma level that very few can access. But
is that lambda?
Very interesting.
No, it's just called lambda, and the one below, 0.5 is the epsilon.
How do you pump up your gamma?
It's a very active. It's a very active brain state. There's certain tricks you can do, and I've taught people how to spike any brainwave. Yeah, most people can use the same tricks for each because it's how the brain kind of works. They're very specific kind of states of mind. You can have very low energy brain states and very inactive, and you can have very active. And the very inactive can be very subconscious and very dreamy and great for creative. And you can also make it very active and great for high detail and high consciousness things. And you can change your brain waves when you need them too. You've been working for a while, you don't have any cool ideas, you can spike the brain waves that are the most creative. When you need to really focus on something just beforehand, you take that breath or whatever, you can focus and spike the most detail-oriented, task-oriented brainwaves. So it's a powerful skill to learn.
Wow, that's neat. I mean,
and
I just wondered if they had because your whole body vibrates at a certain amount. I wonder if they have vibrational properties. If you get mad, does that make you vibrate more? Do your thoughts have more kind of something? I'm not sure. And then too, I know we are a little bit radioactive, so is there some type of radiation that thought gives off as you're burning this energy in your brain? Because there's different
You can measure the energy, the specific energy in different waves with an electroencephalogram. You can get that Muse I was telling you about, which has these incredible meditation programs. Will teach you to slow down your heart, control your heart rate, control your brain tension and stress and your different brain waves. And it's less than $200 for an electroencephalogram. And it's reading the energy that your brain is putting out. Pretty freaking cool.
Hey, buddy, what did you see on Mars? Oh, hold on. Actually, what did you say about seeing Jesus this afternoon?
I had never done that one before. It was about the resurrection, and I saw that basically when he died on the cross, he didn't really die. He could never die. He had reached this like spiritual purity on the path of virtue, that he just had such a connection to God and everything, that he reached that really super peak that's so maybe like 10 humans have in all Homo sapien history. But anyway, he didn't really die, although he died, And then there was a resurrection of Lazarus. That really happened. He really brought him back from the dead. And then when he was seeing his resurrection, I don't know if or think I saw everything, but I saw a spirit form and not a physical form of him after the resurrection. And that people, his friends, really saw a real spirit form, a real physical form. And although it sounds completely wacky that someone could revive someone from the dead or could come back in a spirit form, unless you see some of this stuff and you see the research, and it just sounds too wacky to believe. But the mind can do incredible, real physical stuff. Or maybe the universe is doing it with the mind. You co-create it with the universe. Or maybe the universe is doing it all. You just have to do the right preempting. The craziest shit that you've never experienced before happens. And it's exquisite and beautiful. And it's a blessing that life isn't all known, and that you're much more than you think. We're here. You know how many others we beat out? Not just as, Homo sapien types, but all through our evolution. Your whole genetic history is winners who, got through the most incredibly horrible situations. And you're here. You are a survivor. You are a winner. And you are amazing. And you are the very proof of your amazingness by existing.
We're also very lucky to be human. Imagine if you were a bug, right? We could have been a bug, but
That
we're
would be
not.
pretty good, Mr. Rogers. That would be pretty awesome, though. I would like to be a scarab. That would be cool. A dung beetle. A dragonfly living at almost a faster time rate. They can buzz around and ping, land on the tiniest little pinpoint of a blade of grass. Incredibly fast.
I just want to say, I think that's the amazing thing about being human, is that I'm not sure if other animals can picture what it's like to be like other animals, but we're given this amazing ability to just have empathy and explore and wonder and like follow animals on their adventures and just enjoy them. Like, I'm not sure how many species get to do that.
I love animals. I never understand how people hurt animals. I love animals so much.
Our biosphere is so rich. And like we've got animals inside us even, little bugs, all different types of species. It's like a symphony of life.
That's like hurting babies, hurting animals.
Yeah, it's like how do you hurt a dog or a cat? You know what I mean? Like I mean, I'd probably if I saw someone like hurting a dog or a cat or something, I'd probably like risk my life for that dog or cat. That's just like kind of like how I feel,
I lost it on this old boy 2 or 3 years ago. He was trying to put his dog up in the back end of his pickup truck and make him stay, and the dog kept jumping out. And he took his fist and started punching him in the face. And I lost my mind.
I bet you did, man. Oh shit, I'd lose my shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... I told
I
his
wonder what
wife
Fred would
and
do.
everything.
Carrot's had his hand up for a bit. What's up, Carrot?
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, I didn't want to mess up the flow of the conversation, but what you guys were just saying recently reminded me of a commercial I saw a while back, and it was like something in the Pacific Northwest. It might have been some kind of national kind of, like kind of like a Yellowstone. Anyways, but in the commercial they said something about, yeah, the world around us is so beautiful, but what's even more amazing is that we can experience that beauty so deeply within us. And I thought that spoke to consciousness. Like, yeah, everything around us can be beautiful, but it kind of takes an observer to really take that in, the way that colors manifest or sound manifests because of consciousness, and just how beauty is also manifest because just the the nature of how we are. Hopefully, like Ocean was saying, animals can also experience that beauty, but it's wonderful that instead of, I like how they flipped it. They weren't saying, yes, these beautiful waterfalls, these beautiful landscapes are beautiful, but it's what's more impressive is that we can experience that. It's almost like the beauty lies within us, not just outside of us, which I thought was cool. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to.
That's deep.
Yeah, no, it blew me away. But Alien, you were saying something a while back about gamma and how and I don't know if I've ever remote viewed, but I wanted to kind of give an example of something that happened to me and then kind of just get your take on it. Was that you said something about first learn to meditate where you, without distractions, and just kind of get to a place where you're, silent, I guess, in your mind. And then try meditating with distractions, and that somehow distractions, am I right about that?
Impediments. Yeah, impediments. And that works in everything in life. If you're training in something, once you start to get good, the more you add impediments, the better you'll get.
And so I haven't practiced meditation that long, maybe like a couple of years, but early on, after I was doing like transcendental meditation, I was at one of the craziest things that happened was I was at the DMV. You know how the DMV is, you have to wait like 40 minutes for your ticket to get called. So I just thought, you know what, might as well do a little 20-minute meditation and see if I can, besides the distractions with, now serving B number 13 at window number 22. So you got that loud distraction going on. And then you got people's feet shuffling and you got chairs shuffling around. You got the click clack of the keyboards and people talking. And so at first I was just, kind of going through my mantra or my whatever it is. And for about 15 minutes into it, all of a sudden I felt like I was in a cocoon where I could hear all the sounds around me, but I was unaffected by them. So instead of like at the beginning of the meditation, I would hear noises and it would kind of like shock my system, my nervous system, I guess. But then 15 minutes in it, I was in a place where, oh, wow, all these distractions around me, I can really feel how those things do a number on your nervous system throughout the day. But I became completely unaffected by them, but I could hear everything. So, and then about like toward the end of the meditation, about at the end, I don't know if I can't describe what gamma wavelengths are, but I definitely know what theta is and the hypnagogic state and a lot of things that happen in that state. But usually when I'm in theta, I kind of feel stoned, where I don't know, I've seen funny things in that place where I'm like I'm like Beavis and Butthead or something. I'm kind of like different in theta, but this was different. I wasn't in a theta brainwave state. I don't know if it was gamma or not. But toward the end of the meditation, all of a sudden, with my eyes closed, the back of my eyelids, like if you close your eyes, it's all black, right? But then it became like flat, like a movie screen. And then I started to see something. Like usually, if you close your eyes and you imagine like your home where you grew up, it's built on memory, right? So like I can see my childhood home. I can see the driveway. I could see the front door, but it's all fuzzy because it's all built on memory. Nothing's sharp, nothing's clear. This was not that. I had my eyes closed. There was a screen and it wasn't in full living color, but I could see as if my eyes were actually looking at something. And it looked like, my first thought was, oh, I'm flying over Mars. I'm in that whatever, that drone that's on Mars. I thought I was on the drone. Could have been Arizona. I don't know. It was some kind of rocky landscape. But what blew me away was I was actually seeing it. As if, I don't know if it was my pituitary gland or like a third eye, because I know the pituitary gland has like light sensors in it. But it was as if I was seeing it with my own eyes. And that's happened to me like 4 different times. I don't know if that is remote viewing. And like, I didn't run into any of those. Obviously, I wasn't on Mars. But it was like, I call it a vision, because I was seeing it as if my eyes were there, as if it was actually there on a screen. And I've never had that happen to me. And I don't know if that's me tapping into something or something else sending me that image. But I don't know. What's your take? That was the end.
And it was beautiful.
Well, while we're waiting for Alien, to me that's like prime time right there. That's like jumping onto the other side of the Matrix. Did it feel like it's almost like a curtain, kind of like was like drawn up, like a wall lifted up, and it was this like clarity of kind of like HD viewing, like first person, right?
Yeah, HD for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
like
a lucid dream, almost.
Yeah, almost. Except when I wake up from a lucid dream, it's still kind of skewed and kind of like a dream. Although, no, lucid dreams are. But yeah, no, it
You had a
felt like
psychic
I was steering
experience.
somewhere.
Yeah, there's no question it was a psychic experience. Don't you think?
You know what's
I mean,
kind of weird for me is like, say if I'm in a crowd and I'd want to just like think, I feel like there's me in a bubble and all my sounds are on the outside of the bubble when I'm trying to think on the inside. But then, like, if it's the other way around, like if I'm just kind of like, I don't know, it's just strange. I just always picture there's like a barrier, I guess. So it's like things come to me and then I like process them, but it's like they don't just, I don't know. I guess you'd call that a wall. It's good practice, though.
I mean, I definitely think it's the right track, man, that you just described. You know, it's like I almost like I picture it like it's like I'm imagine you're in like Iron Man suit, you know, and you're looking through like the viewfinder, like through like this digital display of like Iron Man suit, right? So you feel like you're totally protected and shielded, and yet you're like watching, you know, the reality through the lens of like a VR helmet. It's really weird. It's hard to describe, but
yeah, no, a VR helmet actually is kind of a good description of it. But yeah, no, what touched that story off, I guess, was the other day you said something about meditating with impediments, and it was weird that is kind of what set it off. And I wasn't kind of goofy in my mind like I am when I'm in a dream state. I was very conscious of what I was seeing.
You know,
So I don't know if that was
you're
gamma.
describing one of the levels you go through. It's a very vivid experience, and it leaves this impression on you because you kind of experience life through a different perspective for like the first time, you know. And the more you find out that that experience is an experience you can keep having through meditation, when you get really good at nothingness meditations and you can shut down everything, it's kind of like when pain can turn into pressure, sound and noise can do the same thing. It turns into just like, it disappears, even if it's really loud. Sometimes if you have like some noise in the background, if you're playing a game or something and someone else is watching TV, you forget the TV sound, you know, and it disappears. It's very much like that. And there's been specific trainings that have been done in this for, you know, thousands of years. The Buddhists explain it really specifically. It's wondrous, but that is one of the stages you go through with the nothingness meditations. You get these kind of somatic experiences where you feel this like different connectivity to your senses and to the environment, and some of them are very powerful, richly sensory experiences. And you know, like this one, it's affected you. You still think about it, and I have different viewings that come back to me, you know, and I think about them like, wow, why did that happen? How did this happen to that? And it's like such an exquisitely beautiful gift this life is, and all the wonderful things we can do. It's just amazing. and we're confined and censored so much in our society. But you can see the human spirit is so much more than we express. You know how we keep beating the previous Olympics, you know, the one Olympic winner, you keep getting better and better and better. It's like it's not that we couldn't do that, you know, it's like we have these little hallmarks of success that we go through. And we keep finding out we can do more and more and more and more. And I don't know what the envelope is. It's pretty extraordinary.
Wow. I don't want to change the subject too quick, but just one last thing that I've only heard Tupac mention this one time, but I wonder if anybody in this room understands or has heard this before, where if you go astral, or maybe if you're abducted, I thought it was after an abduction, but maybe after going in the astral state, that some people mention seeing geometric patterns. I don't know if in their mind, or maybe sort of burned into their retinas. You know how like when you look at the sun or you look at a bright light and then you close your eyes and you can kind of see that image, like a reverse image in your mind of it. Has anybody ever experienced that where like you wake up? I don't know. I woke up in the morning one time and burned into, like, it felt like in the back of my retinas were these shapes. And my first thought was, is this a atomic structure that I should like know about, but I'm just too dumb to put it together? Anyways.
Geometries have been really important in a lot of these thought forms that you try to experience during meditation. Mandalas are a great example of that. And the geometric shapes are natural symmetries, kind of like give you a fractal perspective. So I think they have meaning. You know, you see that they have meaning in somatics. And energy transforms them and their ability to show themselves in so many different ways. You know, it's so cool. Vibration can show really cool basic geometric shapes in cymatics. You know, when you know that stuff, it's with for the sand on the you know flat plane and have music vibrate underneath it, different notes.
That's why I love the golden ratio, is because how music works. So like you go from like one, you know, group of tones and you go do 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 all the way up, and then the last one is like the first one of the next one. You know what I mean? So it's like all tied together.
You're a do.
Everything's frequency.
I'm a do do. That's what I am.
I feel like I was abducted last night. So it's been a really fucking weird day.
Buddy, normal today. You sound like weak or something, like debilitated. You don't sound your normal, vibrant, multi-character self.
No, I mean I feel good. I just I feel like I was I feel like I had like my second like awareness of no, I wouldn't say abduction because it wasn't bad, but something definitely happened last night. I definitely think so. I mean I woke up all I remember, I opened my eyes right at 6:05 a.m. and as I opened my eyes, I heard this sound of like what a spaceship would sound like from above, and it just kept getting quieter and quieter and quieter, like it was moving away from me from above. And I was like frozen, but not uncomfortable, but like paralyzed, like frozen, just like laying there, and couldn't move anything, but I was extremely comfortable. And as the sound of this ship sound that I heard got fainter and fainter, and it was like could hear it moving away from above me is where the sound was. As I laid there, I had my eyes open when this was happening, and I was all these memories just started like popping in my head from like wherever I fucking was last night. And it was like insanity, man. It was the craziest shit. It was like that. Remember that those photos? It was like a map, and then a photo of the moon that I shared a while ago, and the similarities. Remember that stuff? Anyone?
Yes, they overlaid like perfectly.
Yeah. So it was weird because as I was laying there and this was happening this morning, all this like downloads, data, images started like coming into my mind like a million miles an hour. I mean, it was crazy. And basically it was like just in my mind that basically the moon is us, but in the future. And what we're seeing is we're seeing some kind of like plasma level matter visualization of the Earth, but in the future, after there was like great destruction, and that because of some kind of space-time thing, that's why we see the moon, that it basically got stuck in some kind of time travel, like altered reality type of imprint, and that the light balls that a lot of us are seeing are us in the future, the ones that survived, basically like trying to communicate with us in the present day to warn us about what's coming.
Well, it sounds like this was something very real and serious, and it's made a big impact on you. I would keep a notebook around you and don't censor yourself. If you get some big highfalutin idea, write it down. You get some weird invention, write it down. You're limitless, and you've been inspired. You've been hit with the touch of inspiration. So don't limit yourself in the next day.
Oh yeah, I wrote it down like 10 minutes later after I got up. I wrote it all down as it was in my mind, and
Well, that's
very
not very promising for me because I keep asking and asking and I haven't seen any. So I guess I just gotta try harder.
Hey, buddy. People talk about frequencies a lot. How do you recommend people integrate the idea of frequencies and vibrations in their lives? Like, do you recommend looking up certain YouTube videos that have specific frequencies playing, or what?
Binaural beats for sure.
I mean, I love binaural beats.
It's a big question. There's a lot of different ways and ways to handle it. The best way you want to is to find your ability to connect to other things through empathy and other people and places and things and times, like two tuning forks, and you are trying to be resonant with that, and in that moment you're appreciating it and loving it and admiring it, and like this delightful inquisitiveness that you feel like you are it. There's this resonance, and it's kind of what happens with two tuning forks. One way to look at it. There's also different ways that frequency kind of is different with each person, I think. I do a mantra and I always use the same note. And it's interesting, if you go to any object and you hit any object, it'll make a sound. And that sound will give you the frequency that that object is resonant at. You do that with a wine glass and you find out the note that it's resonant to. And if you hit that note, and then if you hit the 11th the 11th harmonic of it, it steps up the energy, and you get used to constructive and deconstructive waves, and you learn about getting in the groove of the harmonic and staying there. And those things, I think, really help. It's kind of like learning how to ride the constituent matter of the universe. It's like it's feeling like you're more in touch with it, with reality.
Thank you.
Hey, did you guys ever see, I posted, but I'm not sure if y'all have seen it before. There's this guy that puts like these little sensors onto like fungus, like mushrooms, and it turns it into like sound on his soundboard. So it's like the mushroom song. So he connects like two little things, and it's like dong da dong dong da dong. They're like singing the vibrations to each other.
There's a plant called the telegraph plant, and there's a few that do variations of what it does. It reacts to sound waves, and you can actually train the plant to move more often by working with the plant. But basically, if you make sounds, it'll oftentimes close up its leaves or literally move around and sway and dance. It can be in a completely still room. And they found out that it's literally doing exactly what you think it's doing. It's moving and reacting to it. There's other ones that work on circadian rhythms, that close up every morning and every night. And when you find the really active plants like the telegraph vine and others that really respond to things like sound, it's really cool. And when you discover that some of these plants look incredible with ultraviolet light or infrared light, there's a whole new design or pattern on them.
Interesting.
You start to realize how little we know.
Nice. My buddy Paul just came in. What's up, Paul?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, sorry, I was trying to get here sooner, but for some reason, like all of the apps on my phone just stopped working, and I had to restart it a couple times. And wait,
That's common.
yeah, but no, cool to be here. I kind of just tuned in when Alien Protocol was talking about frequency and vibration and all of that resonance. That's definitely something that I'm also very interested in. I don't know exactly what the context was, so I was curious about that. And then I just thought I would say that yes, I am aware of this app that people, they'll hook up little what do you call it, little prods or whatever to plants and fungi or whatever, and listen to or sort of make music out of them. And obviously, there's an algorithm there that sort of dictates the music that's being made. So it's it's not quite exactly as advertised sometimes, but there's no doubt that all these plants and like everything has a frequency, like we're saying. But yeah, exactly the topic is right now since I just got here.
Harmonics really seems like this resonance and harmonics when you get in tune with the waves. If everything is frequency, then you have to well, what is frequency? It's waves, and waves oftentimes they're almost always affected by constructive and deconstructive waves, and this is true with light to sound, all the way down and up the electromagnetic spectrum. And there's a really wonderful magical thing that happens is with harmonics, you are able to transfer energy across what were previous barriers. Like with the two tuning forks, there's the barrier of the air and the air molecules and all the other elements that are in the air. And the two tuning forks make this resonance of frequency over distance and exchange energy back and forth between them. It's not just the one you strike. The one that you strike sends energy to the other one, which also sends it back. There's this weird thing, and we find out again and again that resonance is a superpower.
Do you think, with your name being Alien Protocols, do you have?
You're pretty quiet there, buddy.
Paul, I think you're sitting on your mic or something.
Sorry about that. The microphone is in this perfect position where my ring finger always wants to rest on it, and I'm so sorry. Alien Protocols, are you do you have any thoughts about like frequency when it comes to alien contact and stuff like that, you know, like matching frequencies with other entities and stuff.
There's some specific frequencies that military has recorded, like 3 gigahertz and 1600 hertz, or 1.6 gigahertz.
Right, yeah, I've heard that one. It's interesting. I wonder about that.
432 has also been, there's been several different frequencies that have been reliably recorded coming from craft or
Right.
or initiate that help to initiate contact, and it's not the one that Dr. Greer has.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard so many stories of course of people encountering a low hum when they're in close proximity to certain UFOs, or obviously during alien contact or alien abduction. There's all sorts of vibrational phenomena that people encounter, and then astral projection, and it gets to a point where it's just everything. The bedrock of just all reality is just vibrations and frequencies. It's crazy.
It's interesting to think about. It borders on, philosophy, but in that these philosophical, what Einstein would call thought experiments, you can uncover real realities just by deduction, and that's a really cool thing about our universe, and that's how we invent things, and or discover them by accident while trying to find something else. It's we live in a pretty amazing universe, and your ability to do amazing things is probably wildly underrated by you.
Yeah, man, we're so rich.
I have a question. So, say there's like something that's metal sitting on a table, right? And I have a way of tuning into it, like tuning forks, right? Does that give it like a magnetic pull as well? Like, do they come together?
It depends, but in a lot of metals that have been bent without touching, that have been done in laboratories under laboratory conditions, they get different effects and qualities, and one of them is they become magnetic when they weren't previously. And some objects that are, the element is not magnetic, will become magnetic. Hutchinson would make batteries out of like rocks and throw all this weird shit, like she just would find outside into a pipe, and these batteries are still running now. And it was, Dr. Hathaway and a bunch of the physicists in the CIA, everyone tried to figure it all out and spent a lot of time with Hutchinson, and ultimately Hathaway, who's one of the most brilliant, scientists in exotic science still, and working for different governments, concluded that he was doing it with his mind, and he wrote the book Mindbender, or something. I think it was Mindbender or Mind Bending. It's an important book. But there's been a lot of people that could affect matter with their mind, and I always think that's some sort of resonance with something more fundamental even than waves. And I think that's data. You're having this deep connection with something. And I like to call it love. It sounds crazy, but when you have this deep, deep connection and this resonance with something, you have this exchange of energy, and it's this understanding and this oneness. And it's so many of the things that all of our religions point to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's like a way to train your body, like have like some type of reader and train your body to try to match frequencies maybe at first until you can do it on your own. But
maybe that's what people do who are accurate at this stuff. That's what
Yeah.
I try to do, is match the frequency and make it connect with these things, that oneness feeling.
I just think of, hardcore monks, or just anyone who's gotten really into meditation and stuff, who really reached that next level, that's what they're tuning into is, I don't know, some kind of love, non-dualistic force. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's really, and it's been something I've explored for, more than a decade, really intensely. is selflessness. Our
And
society,
great gratitude.
our society is very inward when it's really about outward. It's not about me, it's about you. And selflessness connects you to everything. You know, empathetic people are really good at, you know, the studies that have proven psychic abilities because they're empathetic. They are resonant. They're connecting. They're loving.
Yeah. They're just like mirrors almost sometimes. You know, at least that's the stories I've heard from people who who have allegedly reached some type of enlightenment. Is that it's like there's nothing there on some level. It's, you know, the lights are on, but nobody's home except like the opposite somehow. Like they are just pure, and yeah, and they just kind of exude this light and love and yeah, it's just kind of a mirror. I don't know. It is resonant.
You know, it's not surprising that we are deeply connected to our universe. You know, we've evolved in this universe. You know, we've been longing and striving and reaching out from our most primordial forms to connect with the reality that we're in our universe. And that reaching out and connecting and exploring from the most primal forms we spring from, has searched for that connection, and that connection is there even though, you know, our brains sometimes give us a pervasive and very persuasive illusion of separateness. We're not separateness. You know, if you are selfless, then you are more everything else than you are yourself, you know. And that's that oneness everyone talks about.
Right.
I
I
mean,
once heard.
this is
I'm so
regurgitated ancient shit, you know. It's like, it's
totally.
so funny how we forget this stuff, but it's been written down.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so sorry to keep interrupting. I just Ram Dass, you know, the sort of famous person who wrote "Be Here Now" and everything. He once said, "God wants to experience separateness." I forget the interview, but someone asked him, like, you know, why this human experience, and that's what he said. God wants to experience separateness because God is not separate.
I kind of was exploring the same thought earlier today, saying that, you know, we are definitely, beyond any shadow of a doubt, somethingness over nothingness. We are life, we're existing, there's somethingness over nothingness. And somethingness, even in the most basic form, is, let's just say, one as a concept. One can be sliced so many different ways. You know, for one to have any sense of oneness, its internal structure has to reflect upon itself for it to be one. You know what I mean? And each of us is reflecting on the great oneness. And I've heard that, you know, quote about we're the universe, you know, thinking about itself. It's not quite that, but it's kind of like, in order to be itself, it has to be, everything has to be connected. And you have the inexorable feeling of the life of you right now. You know, this person, whatever your name is, but it's an illusion. We're all one. Literally, I am you, you are me, but we have to experience each one of these relative perspectives in order for it to be a reality. And you wonder sometimes, why would God kill a tiny kid, you know, after a couple of weeks of life or something? And maybe that was another one of the perspectives on the oneness, on the somethingness that the universe had to have in order to be a universe. And so maybe we're all, you know, really facets on one crystal.
Yeah, I totally vibe with that, and I know that it's that last thing you said is a controversial concept for a lot of people, but nonetheless, yeah, I wish I could remember some terms. If there's, like, you know, there's the lotus symbol within Eastern mysticism, and it's like an unfolding, a simultaneous unfolding into you know, constituent parts, and you know, it's all connected. And yeah, I do think that there's something to, like, just omnipotence or omniscience or whatever you might imagine God as, depending, that omnipotence, that oneness could just be kind of sad and boring, and like you would just want to somehow create or embody something other in order to escape, basically. And yeah, maybe that's a cyclical process that we are experiencing right now. I don't know, just kind of riffing.
Someone today was saying that they were kind of in the dumps, just feeling kind of depressed. I don't know, not really depressed, just kind of melancholy. And I was asking them like why, and they were like, just I'm not where I want to be in my life right now, you know. And I don't know. I don't know if any of us are really where we intended to be or hope to be anyway. I know I rarely ever have been where I hope to be or wanted to be. I'm sure that's a common trait among many people. I really, really hope so anyway. Otherwise, I feel like a little bit more shitty in that sense. But I think we should just be happy with like wherever we go, you know. I'm just grateful for like all the stuff I have. Like when I go to bed at night, I'm just like, man, I'm sleeping like in a huge ass bed with like sheets and blankets and towels or towels and pillows, and like I have like my awesome dog and like all my stuff and
Go anywhere.
in a house, right? And like I'm so fucking filthy rich. Like there's people like sleeping under a tree tonight somewhere, like, and I'm here over here like it's gonna be melancholy about it. Like I got so much shit to be grateful for. It's disgusting that I would be melancholy still. Yet
You know, Kings,
this happens.
500 years ago, Kings didn't have what you can get at the corner store. You know, it's pretty amazing.
And yet, we still do suffer, though. There's always going to be that nagging little something. I feel like, but no, I totally agree that we need to be grateful, and that gratitude. It's all about gratitude. It really, really is. But I don't know. It's still so hard to escape that kind of nagging feeling. Maybe that's what spirituality is about. I don't know.
It's just so relative, you know. You just get like accustomed to shit. What's up, Steve? Oh, actually, Ocean, where's your hand up first? I didn't notice.
No, Steve can go first.
Been a minute. Where you been at, Steve?
Oh, I went through a little bit of a trial with my job. You know how things. I got injured, and then so I had to take some time off. I wanted to ask Alien or anyone here a question. Have you guys ever heard of the book, The 7 Levels of Creation?
No,
I've never heard of that book. But yeah, I just wanted to speak to saying that like when I lived in a camper out like in a campground on the edge of a forest, like I didn't have a lot, and at the time I did kind of wish I had more, but like it was before I had my kid, and it was like honestly the best time of my life. Like looking back, I was so happy and content and just did my own little hippie thing, and I think it's silly to get caught up with the like always having more. I think it should be more like always doing more, right? Like I feel like there's not enough time in the day. I'm not so worried about how much money I make in the day. I feel like there's not enough time, and I feel like time is much more valuable than money to me.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to be clear. I wasn't talking about like materialism or anything. I feel a nagging sensation often in life, and I don't know what that has to do with. It's not material. But
Oh yeah, I mean, what I was saying was completely unrelated to whatever you guys are talking about. Sorry, I didn't mean to connect.
I realize that. I'm gonna raise my hand next time. Sorry.
So, well, like I was gonna say this to Alien because he was talking about he was touching upon selflessness and stuff. According to the author, and it's one of the most fascinating things, and I've studied so much of theology and college Eastern philosophy, and one of the most fascinating perspectives that I've ever been given is the 7 levels of creation. And according to the author, there are all these realities that are superimposed like layers of a cake, stacked, created by God in a sort of order, and we exist actually on like zero level, like, and the extraterrestrials also exist on that zero level. We think of it as the ground level, and then above ground level are 7 other realms, and 7 realms below us, and that the soul of any individual alive is said to actually exist 3 inches above the body. Much like how like a puppeteer would control. So isn't that fascinating to think that you may think of yourself as a body, you might think of yourself as a identity or a person, but according to the author, you're actually your soul actually resides above 3 inches above your body, and that true reality, and we don't actually live in true reality, we live in a impermanent reality, like a passing reality, exists 3 feet above us. So it's all here. All the realities that ever existed are actually here. They're just superimposed and we can't see them. So then the question will be asked is, in the material, well, can you describe that? And is it possible to understand it? Well, anything's possible to understand. It's just the way I was told was it's like have you ever seen a fan go? Like, you see the blades when it's not on, or when it's off, you see the blades, but when the fan starts spinning, you no longer see the blades. So that's the way they describe the physics to us, is if you were to follow the consciousness of any living thing, it would still reside within itself. It would you just follow it out of the body, out of your hands, out of your fingers, but it would actually have a place here. And then they describe the different levels, and I don't want to get too in depth in it, as being orientation is like right above, or you refer to as where all the temples of Akashic records are one, and then they go up higher and higher and higher. And then the realms below have to do with like subterranean realms, like where actual fairies and like gnomes and mythical creatures, because according to the author, they're also creations of God, exist. And sometimes what they do is sometimes they bleed in through our reality and we see them, but they're relegated to their realms. And then the further lower you go, below this, against this level, is where you would find thought forms, like all of our thoughts, being if creations of God, actually have to go somewhere. So whatever you think actually goes somewhere. Like I think Edgar Casey once said, thoughts are things. And so as a creator, or as a co-creator, whatever you think, I know that's kind of insane, but it's relegated to, if it doesn't have a real like function, then it goes to the lower realms. And I found this information. You can read it on it if you do more research, to be quite sound. It really quite fascinating stuff. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Paul. I mean, Steve. Sorry, I was looking at Paul's mic. Damn it, and then that messed me up. I forgot what I was going to say.
Hey, Paul, I made something for you. I'll send it to you DM. It's a AI version of you.
Oh shit! All right, thanks. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited. If anyone here is not aware, Kimball and I have planned to do some kind of Twitter space tomorrow. So if y'all are around at like 3 p.m. Eastern, I think that's 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, we should be doing that. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, where'd he go? Did he like fall out? What happened, Kimball?
He's in the listener section.
I just approved him to speak. He didn't pop up.
I don't know.
He might be glitching out right now. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
I
he's
was.
having some issues. Hey, don't request Kimball. I'll just send you a co-host invite to see if that works. But anyway, have you seen DJ Dooley? Do you know what's up with that guy?
Last I saw, he was saying he was gonna commit suicide, and I unfollowed him and wished him well. That was really messed up. I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, hope he's doing okay.
Also, haven't heard from Lalo.
I heard you say that earlier today, oddly enough, Ocean. That's a bit funny you say that. I was listening to an earlier recording, and you were saying that same thing. The same thing. A few days after our last sighting of him. You think he's still alive?
I just had some weird ass drumming outside my house. I think it stopped. It was like do do do. Sounds like someone's like hitting a garbage can or something, but in a rhythmic pattern. It's weird.
What is going? Is Kimball just like constantly connecting on everybody else's screen?
Yeah.
I could see that being a kind of glitch like I was having earlier.
Yeah, you think Kimball, just force close the app or restart your phone. I should fix it.
Yeah, I had to restart my phone twice. I don't know if restarting the app helped, but I did that too. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I went back. I don't know. I'm really glad about like how much I've been able to talk on these Twitter Spaces. I feel like it's really done wonders for me in terms of like just getting more comfortable with public speaking and whittling down some of my thoughts and becoming more self-aware about the way I talk and stuff. Got a long way to go, but I've been enjoying it. Thanks for putting on these spaces, Logan and everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I never really thought about like what you just said. Like, I really should be paying attention to that though. Like, kind of honing my speaking abilities. I more just treat the space like I'm just talking with a handful of people that are like my friends. You know what I mean? Instead of like an oration or something. But I really should kind of treat it that way a little bit because I could really use some work. I'm a horrible public speaker. I just I don't think I'm a little hard to understand, I think.
Who, you? I don't think you're hard to understand.
Yeah, it's just because I talk like real fast and like slur together words oftentimes. Like I know because sometimes I'll hear myself back and I'm like, what the hell did I say? And even
No,
I
you're
know.
not hard to understand, but I do find that like this happens to me a lot. Like it's not like people aren't understanding what you're saying, but like the meaning, they're misconstruing the meaning a lot. Like you'll mean something else than what they're answering the question to.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
Right, or vice versa. I'll misinterpret somebody. I was just listening back to one of your earlier spaces, Logan, from the 29th, and yeah, there was one person who I want to like DM because they asked me a question about terminating sort of astral experiences, and I don't think I heard the entire question actually, and I misinterpreted it in any case. And
I remember that question.
yeah, what was that?
I remember that.
You do? Yeah, well, I'll just say now, I mean, if you're like having a vibratory or astral type experience that you don't want to happen, the easiest way to make it stop is to just try to move any part of your body that you possibly can and try not to do it. Don't try too hard, you know, just like try to move your head. That usually works for me. Or people talk about wiggling their toes or moving their hands. So I should have given that very, very simple answer, but instead I just launched into how, like, if an alien wants to abduct you, they're going to abduct you, which is not quite what they were asking, I don't think.
How do you make a ham and cheese? If aliens are going to abduct you, they're going to abduct you.
Yeah, no matter how good it is, it's going to happen.
Dude, Kimball, I always want to call him Kindle because of my friend's little brother growing up. But his thing is driving me crazy because I just keep seeing it connecting. and then it'll flash and be like connecting.
All right, I think so. Of these like 8 images, I'm gonna send you right now. Tell me which one you think is like looks the best to you. I think well, you should know. Let's see.
Actually, that dude actually named the friend with the brother named Kendall I was talking about. He actually named his son Kimball. That's funny.
I'm Detective John Kimball.
Okay, I'm getting the photos now. I'm just thinking of Kendall from Succession. I've been rewatching that. It's a good show. Good character. Good Kendall.
Where did
There's
David go?
a Kimball that plays baseball.
I think the one below the top left one, the second one down, just the second one from the top right there.
Yes.
Does that one look the best to you?
I think you're right. Yeah, the two groups of 4. So yeah, it would be the one on the left, second from the top. I do think that one is actually by a wide margin the best. It's just as with all AI, it's not perfect, but I would say it's by far the closest, especially with the hairline and my little swoop.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Like, what you just hope for the best, man. It's just hit and miss sometimes.
Right. That's cool. Thanks, man. I've never even tried doing portraits like that. That's rad.
Oh no sweat, man. It's just doing it for fun, just to kind of brush up on some of my prompt skills, I guess.
Yeah, no, you got to learn those prompt skills. People are totally underrating the art of AI. Everyone's busy talking about how AI is destroying art. Nobody's talking about just how to actually make, how to cross that uncanny valley and make AI art look human and good,
Yeah, it is difficult at first, to come up with good descriptions. It's a nice little skill to have, though. Adjectives are very they're the spice of life, man. Really paints that picture.
Totally. I'm always on that, hitting that thesaurus.com, Merriam-Webster dictionary, trying to teach myself new adjectives and words every day.
Like synonyms, yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, screen. I've never seen your face, so I mean, that's why I just haven't even bothered to ask you. Obviously, but I mean, if you ever did want to do one, just send one to me, I guess. I mean, I guess I could actually just I could just do one of your current face, actually. I guess it's just with like the mask over it. That could work, actually. Yeah, I'll try that. See how that turns out.
So I don't know if y'all were interested in like any other topics, but do any of you guys know of Daniel Rekshan or his YouTube/Reddit name Cosmic Sanctuary or something? Kimball's waving. So yeah, he posted.
Oh, is that the guy with the glasses?
Yes.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, he's cool. I've actually been talking to him for a while, like at least over a year since he entered since I entered the Red Grid Mark Phenomenon researchers group on Facebook, and he's really investigating anomalous markings, including the RGMP, which I don't necessarily think is alien in nature, could be, but anyway, he's doing a great job.
What's the RGMP?
The Red Grid Mark Phenomenon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. It's such a long, stupid name, but yeah. Do you know what that is?
Red Grid Mark.
It's a specific thing, like where people. It seems to be recent. People are getting these grids of red dots on specific parts of their bodies, and what's so weird about it is that it's like absurdly common to the point where thousands of people are getting it. They're going to doctors. Doctors don't know what it is. There's WebMD articles about it. There's Quora articles. Even other like actual periodicals are writing about it. And then there's just thousands of pictures of it, and not every single picture totally matches the profile of what it really is. whatever it is, but it's just a totally anomalous phenomenon. And there are some alien sort of connections to it in terms of old cases. Like, I don't think it was Cash Landrum, but another case where there's like the famous picture of the guy who had like a grid on his chest in a hospital bed. He kind of looked like a friar had been on top of him or something. But it's kind of like that pattern. If you just simply Google red grid mark phenomenon, you'll find a bunch of pictures, or especially if you use DuckDuckGo. But it's just fucking weird. So anyway, that could be a whole topic in and of itself. That could be a million spaces. I would love to spread awareness about that. But anyway, I've been studying anomalous markings in general myself, with an emphasis on like alien related ones. Ones that are correlated with alien experiences. And this guy Daniel Rekshan kind of didn't beat me to the punch. He's approaching it from his own angle, but he's doing a great fucking job. And he just put out a couple YouTube videos just the past few days. So I'm gonna get the name right. It's Cosmic Sanctuary.
Isn't it Cosmic Road?
Give me 1 second.
It's like a purple logo, isn't it?
His YouTube channel is called just Daniel Rekshan now, and it's D SETI Cosmic Dream Sanctuary.
Oh, I have no idea who that is. Damn.
True. Well, check it out. He's got a Reddit that he's pretty active on. Reddit profile called just, I think, Cosmic Dream Sanctuary, all one word. And yeah, he's part. Like I said, he's active in the RGMP Red Grid Mark Phenomenon Facebook group, and it's really fucking weird. So anyway, I just brought it up because he put my markings on there that I've shared with some of y'all, and yeah, a lot of you guys have seen, and those are not the red grid mark phenomenon, but it was just a video about various markings. And then he put up another person who, I guess I don't want to out who they are, but there's like a well-known figure, fairly well-known figure within the experiencer community, and he put our markings back to back in the video, and it was really funny because I don't know, I know this guy, and I was just like emailing him being like, wow, Daniel Rekshan didn't even know that we knew each other and put our markings back to back. I don't know, it was just really interesting. I'll post the link to the video that I'm talking about. There's like 3 videos that he's done, but there's one main one that I'm talking about.
You guys hear me?
Yep. You're back.
Oh, dude, I was about to trip out, bro. I was about to get so mad because I literally just approved you, and it showed that you were a listener again. I was like, what?
Yeah, my phone must have fucked up. Paul, you should send me all those images for tomorrow.
Totally, yeah. I'll do that right now. I'll send you just my standard spread that I send everybody. I got like basically 1 or 3. I got like one really crazy marking myself, and then my roommate got one after doing like a CE5 kind of thing, and then our friend got one. So I'll send you those 3, and I'll send you a few others too.
I think I've got that image of the hybrid child as well, and then you had another one I thought of, just one of the regular grays, but it could be
right.
Hey,
wrong.
so I stepped out for
Well,
a
yeah,
second.
the regular.
But I'm back.
And these old alchemists and stuff, when they would do like rituals to summon angels or demons or whatever for whatever reason, they would often like when stuff would go wrong, they'd often have marks, like red marks all over them like that.
Yeah, the stigmata thing is a very real association, or I don't know if that's exactly what you're referring to, but like that, those historical markings are so important, I think.
But while I was gone, what I was doing was I heard this weird ass drumming outside, so I played my Spectrum like reader, and it was like bouncing up to like 175, and then all of a sudden it was like, and it stayed at like 4 something continuously outside my house. So I don't know what's going on out there.
I don't even know what that means. Is 4 like a big number?
400 like hertz. I don't know. It's just weird. I try to use it to like read what I'm hearing, right? I gotta look into it now, but I screenshotted it.
Well, I just tested negative for COVID, so that's cool.
Sweet.
Good for you. Actually, same actually.
Yeah, I've got a sore throat. I know we already rescheduled once. I'm gonna get some good sleep tonight, and hopefully tomorrow we can make it happen. I'm sorry, dude.
No, I've been sick as well. It seems like everyone I know has specifically this sore throat thing, and I also went and tested myself a few days ago. And luckily, I don't have it.
It's got to be the C and the T, right, with a line, because I only have one on the C. Or did you not do like a self test?
No, yeah, no, I think that you're right. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
No worries. It's an older test kit. It's brand new. I just opened it, but it was bought a while ago. I might go buy another one just in case.
Yeah, people keep telling me that I would know if I definitely had it because there's false positives and stuff, but I haven't had any symptoms aside from just a really messed up throat and kind of chest congestion and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of talking as well, so I need to take care of myself.
Did Buddy leave?
Did he? No, it looks like he's still here.
Yeah, maybe he's asleep or something.
Probably on the John. Wait, what's wrong, Gimbal? You got a screen. You're stuck in limbo.
What's that?
Or is Buddy stuck in limbo? I think screen crashed. I think.
Oh shit!
I have to take him out. Screen, say something now or forever hold your peace. All right. Goodbye. So long. Goodbye. I wonder if Buddy's stuck too.
Paul, are those
on their screen?
Paul, those markings, are they like scabs or are they just like red dots on your skin? Are they still there?
So this was 2 years ago, just about. It was February 2021. So no, they're not there in that state anymore. With that said, one of the unusual things about my markings compared to a lot of people's, not just with their clarity and other aspects that Daniel Rekshan pointed out, but they left scars that are still there, which are incredibly difficult for me to get a picture of right now. I'm going to need someone else to do it because it's on the back of my leg and I have to contort myself, and it only shows up in certain lighting. And again, it's been almost 2 years, but when I discovered them, they were scabs, but they were absolutely positively puncture wounds. And I know this for several reasons. Primarily because at first, before I even noticed them, the reason I saw them was because I woke up and I had this intense pain inside my leg. And I've said this before, if anyone's ever gotten, well, the COVID shot, for example, if anyone's ever gotten that, it's an intramuscular shot, and that leaves a pain inside of your muscle. And there's other types of intramuscular shots that you'll get for other reasons, and this one was very deep inside of my muscle. And at first, I just woke up and thought maybe I pulled a muscle in my sleep. But then I went about my day, and about 6 hours later or something, I was getting dressed for something, and I noticed them, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And then I had already been telling people that I had an alien experience a couple days previous, where I saw saw just a silhouette, but like a perfect silhouette of a gray alien standing by my bed. It was about 2 days previous. And then that night, I went to bed still just kind of baffled. And when I woke up in the morning, this time in broad daylight, I saw a gray alien. Saw its whole face and everything. It was very pale, and it just kind of zoomed around my bed when I noticed it and went straight through my bedroom. Sorry, my bedroom door. And my whole room was kind of vibrating like it often is when I encounter these things.
That was in
So
waking consciousness?
it was, but it was right after I woke up. I was not paralyzed. It was like I sat up as it saw me, and I just watched as it basically floated, kind of like almost exactly how the kids described it in the Aerial Phenomenon documentary. Kind of like was moving its limbs slightly as it floated through my door, and I've seen them move like that one other time during one of my other experiences. But yeah, it was waking consciousness. It was just it was right after I woke up. So if people want to write it off as a parasomnia hallucination, hypnopompia, or a dream, feel free. But I wrote it off as that basically for a year or more, just because I didn't want to believe it. But then as time went on, I continued to have experiences, and I had more experiences that week after that as well. And I just had to look at myself and say, like, hey, these markings appeared right when I had like literally 5 or 6 experiences within the span of 10 or 12 days. And I don't think that's coincidence.
You don't recall any kind of dream related to that before you woke up and saw the gray?
No, and that's what was no. Well, definitely not when I got the markings. But no, I don't think the same. I don't think I saw or remembered anything before I saw the gray either. But that was actually something that I noted as strange, because I have been practicing keeping a dream journal for many years now. I have a dream journal that goes back at least 5 years at this point. And so yeah, this was just 2 years ago. And I do that because keeping a dream journal allows you to remember your dreams better and lucid dream and astral project and stuff like that. So it was very notable to me that I basically went to sleep the night that I got the markings. This is, I went to sleep, woke up at 7 hours later, and did not have a single memory of a dream, even though I would dream basically every single night. So yeah, there was a noticeable lack of dream.
Yeah, I don't know. You rattled off some terms before. I don't know what this would be called, but a few months, it was probably a few weeks ago, I had a dream that there was like a wasp that like was buzzing around my ear and like landed on my head. And I'm not deathly allergic, but I'm like somewhat allergic, so woke me up. And I sat up in my bed, looked at my pillow, and this is waking consciousness. I swear I saw the wasp like right there on my pillow. And then I sat there and kind of let my eyes adjust and like stared at this little part of my pillow where I saw this striped hornet. And yeah, as it adjusted, it was just this shadow that my mind had like hallucinated, basically, that a wasp was like this little sliver of shadow, and there was no wasp. I'm not saying that's what happened to you, but
no, I totally
sometimes your
get
mind can play tricks on you like that.
Yes, it can. That's what I would call a hypnopompic hallucination. So I threw out one of the words I threw out was hypnopompia. That's
Okay.
just so you've got hypnagogia, which is when you're in the process of falling asleep, and you've got hypnopompia, which is when you're in the process of waking up. And
Oh,
you have
interesting.
hypnagogic,
Okay.
hypnagogic hallucinations, hypnopompic hallucinations, and all I can say is that this was broad daylight, and there was nothing that I could have possibly mistaken it for. So if it was anything, it was simply, the reductionist. Sorry, if it was anything prosaic or mundane, then I could only think that it was the normal reductionist, more materialist explanation for sleep paralysis and stuff like that, even though I wasn't paralyzed, which is to say that you carry on your dream imagery into part of your waking life, which I also don't buy into for a whole number of reasons. I don't think that argument holds water as an explanation for most sleep paralysis encounters. That's not to say that there's no such thing as hypnagogia or hypnopompia and hallucinations thereof, but I don't buy them as an explanation, for example, just simply why people encounter certain entities across the board during these encounters, such as shadow people or aliens or whatever. I don't ascribe to any theory or hypothesis like the ET hypothesis. I'm not one of these people that has a cosmology where I have beliefs where these aliens come from, but I do think that these incidents are often genuinely anomalous and do appear to represent something other than mere hallucinations.
That's interesting for sure. Yeah, I'd heard of hypnagogia, hypnagogic hallucination. I've never heard of hypnopompic. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just those liminal states, and I can understand why. And by liminal, I just mean those in-between states between whether it's waking or sleeping or whatever. And I can understand why people want to write off those states of consciousness, but I will just remind everybody that, like, in my opinion, waking consciousness is also just a form of hallucination. It's just an extended or what like Dennis McKenna would call a sustained hallucination created by our the transducer, which is our brain and our various hormones and neurotransmitters and so forth, and all of that creates the default mode network that is our everyday waking consciousness. But the fact remains that default mode shifts into other modes every single night when we go to sleep. We have all these different brain waves that we access, the alpha, beta, delta, theta states, and so forth. And you have psychedelic states, you have meditative states. And so I think to disregard dream states even, let alone lucid dreams or astral experiences or whatever, to disregard them is stupid. I don't want to use some fancy word. I think it's just wrong to disregard a certain state of consciousness just because it's not your everyday waking state of consciousness. It's not to say that everything that's not part of your default mode waking state of consciousness. It's not to say that stuff is all like real or there's no such thing as hallucinations. That's not what I'm arguing. It's just that it's more complicated than that. That's kind of my whole spiel. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
No, I love that. One, it's like when you see something that fantastical, like your rational mind goes there. It's like, okay, like, is there any chance this could be a hallucination? And if it's that unbelievable, a lot of people, I'm sure, just deduce like, yeah, no, that had to have been a hallucination because that doesn't exist. But I feel like your case is interesting because you've had multiple experiences. And haven't you had more than one waking consciousness experience?
Yes, but they have, I've seen like some orb-like activity, including with other witnesses just walking around, so I can say that certainly. That's the only type of UFOs that I've really seen. As far as just like waking consciousness encountering entities, I have had other experiences where I woke up, I was not paralyzed, my room was filled with vibrational energy though, and so I feel like it was this kind of astral state, whatever you want to call that, wherein I encountered alien beings, like that hybrid child that was in my bed. I essentially, as well as this alien woman that was in my bed 8 days prior to that. It was actually New Year's Eve of 2021, going into 2022. Just to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. So I'll go into this, I'm sure, in the interview, but I over the years, before I got into astral travel and learning how to induce that voluntarily, I would get these vibrational experiences sometimes when I was sleeping. And over time, I would always fight them off. But then eventually I decided I was going to try not fighting them off and see what would happen. And when I would give in to the vibration, I would have these sort of alien encounters. And they seem to be like out of body experiences or quote unquote astral experiences. And I think we need to update the language from astral because it sounds so fucking woo woo. But regardless, I would have these experiences. And so, those have continued on and off. It's been since then. I haven't had this since February of 2022, but yeah, that was the last one. But yeah, I got these sort of vibratory feelings. They went on for a week. I took that to mean I call it being pinged. It's like someone's pinging me to make contact. And so after a week, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give into it. And then I gave into it. And on New Year's Eve, my first, it started off as, actually, this is not, the second one will be an example of the pinging. But on New Year's Eve, I was having this weird dream where I was sitting on the floor in some nondescript, brightly lit space. I saw what I somehow knew to be a woman walk in front of me and sit to my left. I was sitting on the floor cross-legged, sort of looking down. She sits to my left, and I could feel my arm rubbing up against her. Sounds very mundane, I realize. So then I'm like, that's weird. And I became lucid, and I woke myself up, as I often do from dreams. I looked to my left in my bed just to make sure, and there was nothing there. I was like, that was strange. But I was in that kind of delta state, and so then I fell back asleep, and I went right back into the same dream. I was sitting on the same floor, and this woman was still sitting next to me. I never saw what she looked like. I just felt her arm brushing up against my left arm. And so for whatever reason, I instinctively grabbed her hand, and I started to feel these astral vibrations. The same thing as the ping, but the next one's more like that. So I felt these vibrations that I typically associate with both alien contact and sometimes, or as well as astral stuff, if you want to call it that. And then I woke up in my bed a second time, and I was holding hands with some kind of blonde woman. And she was not making eye contact with me for some reason. She was staring straight ahead, and I was just, I remember saying like, hey there, in my head, like totally terrified. And then I tried to like calm myself down. And as I calmed myself down, before my eyes, her face transformed into a tan gray alien, basically. Like a typical tall gray, but tan colored. Big black eyes. And then I got, actually, maybe that's when I said, hey there. Then I got really scared, and then it was like the fear response correlated with this screen image or something. So the more afraid I got, it started to transform back into a blonde woman. And then the less afraid I got after that, it went back sort of to a tan alien. And then it got kind of stuck in between to an almost comical level. I realize this all sounds completely ridiculous, but in any case, that happened New Year's Eve, and then the experience ended, and I was just in my bed, I guess, alone. And so 8 days after that, during those 8 days, I kept getting pinged over and over. I kept getting these vibrations again and again, until finally I gave in. And I need to add that during those 8 days, I shared that experience with some online friends, and they were like, oh, maybe you're part of the hybridization program, which I don't have strong opinions about. Everyone knows what the whole hybrid thing is. I was like, sure, maybe I am. And so I did think about it. I sent out a mental intention at some point to be like, hey, I'm part of this hybrid program thing or whatever. Maybe let me know. Just kind of put that out to the universe. So I keep getting these pings. Finally, I give in to the vibration. And then in my bed, I feel this something crawl into my bed, start touching my chest and my face, really mostly my face, like trying to make me open my eyes. I was so scared. I just kept my eyes shut until eventually I opened them. And there was this hybrid child thing in my bed that was just kind of sitting next to me on my bed, staring at me. and it felt like I was in total waking consciousness. It was the middle of the night. I was able to move. But everything was kind of vibrating, and I was in this weird liminal state. And so then I heard this telepathic voice from, presumably from the child. I suppose it could have come from elsewhere, but I heard this telepathic voice that said, "We don't know you." It said that twice. "We don't know you." And then it said, "We will be back in about 3 weeks." And then once again, the experience just kind of faded, and I found myself alone in my bed again. And yeah, it all felt very physical, but then again, like, astral experiences tend to feel physical too. And so yeah, so then long story short, 3 weeks later, I had some kind of just like alien dream vision or something, where there were two typical Nordic female beings that were laughing at me for thinking that they were aliens. And they seemed to imply that they were not aliens and that they were perhaps human cousins or something. That's my long story.
That's awesome. So again, I think you mentioned this last time we talked, but when you saw this hybrid child, that was during waking consciousness, right?
It certainly seemed to be the case. I've had, I've had astral experiences, for example, where you'll leave your body, but I differentiate between an OBE and an astral projection usually, because during an OBE, it's like you're in the physical world. You're in the hospital room and you can hear the doctors operating on you. Whereas during most astral experiences for me, it's like I'm transported either to another realm entirely, or I'm transported to like a blueprint of this reality where everything is virtually the same, but sometimes slightly different. And so I've come to recognize that state, and it also feels different. It doesn't feel like physical reality, but during these two waking consciousness experiences that I described, it did not feel like that. It felt like just normal reality, with the exception that, I was getting these crazy vibrations, which can draw, the physicality of it into question. But I'm personally not too concerned with physicalism or the physicality of these experiences, just simply because I know that they operate both physically and non-physically, because they interact with people out of body, but they also leave markings, so it's both. But yes, it did feel like physical. It did not feel like a typical astral experience. It felt like I just sat up in my bed. I was not paralyzed. There's this child sitting on me.
This is a really bad pun, but it's a genuine question. The way that Gary Nolan explains his experience of like a vibration and then some telepathic voice saying, "This is how we communicate," and then he said, "Stop," Does that description resonate with you? And that's a stupid pun.
Yes, that is the perhaps that was the biggest, most mind-blowing, most validating anecdotal report that I had ever heard. I heard that the day that he said it on Channel 7 Spotlight News, and I thought it was "This is how we connect," although you might be right. In any case,
No,
it's
I
the
think
same
you're right.
meaning.
I think it is that.
It's the same meaning, though. It's, in my opinion, it's virtually the same meaning. And I take it to go back to this whole frequency thing that I when I joined the chat we were talking about. I think that the vibrations, the reason that they occur is because these, we all exist. We all have our own vibration. And I guess, with most life forms on Earth, we don't have that different of a vibration. But with quote unquote alien life forms, we probably have pretty different levels of vibration. And so when we encounter them, what we are experiencing, in my opinion, is like the dissonance. Like, to use musical terms, we're experiencing the dissonance between our vibration and theirs, and we are resonating literally like tuning forks with our and their vibration, and what we are feeling is the middle ground where we connect. And I desperately want to talk to Gary Nolan about this. And
interesting.
that's my theory, and I've been doing a lot of talking to people about that and writing about it.
So when you are having these experiences, are you in a constant state of that vibration, or is it just like an initial experience?
With the alien encounters, actually, so I'll say in general, no, it's not totally constant because, like, I've had, for example, often with the alien stuff, it'll be it might start with the vibration and it might end with the vibration, but in the middle, it won't involve any vibrations. And with the astral stuff, it's a little bit more constant to the point where it almost feels like I often compare my astral experiences. Again, I use astral, I use that term very broadly because it does encompass an umbrella of phenomena. But when I have these astral experiences, if anyone's ever played a video game where you have like a health bar or a mana bar or magic bar, and it's like when you use a special ability that mana or your health slowly depletes and goes away until you can't do it anymore. That's how astral projection often manifests for me, or always does on some level, is that it's like you have chi. You know, I'm sure many people here are familiar with the concept of chi or kundalini. It's like you have this energy that is built up one way or another, who knows, and then when you astral project, it's like you have a little mana bar that slowly depletes, and you can kind of keep it going. And while you're keeping it going, usually I'll feel a vibration, and I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into this, but anyone who's just not to be graphic, but anyone who's familiar with like chakras and the different locations of chakras, I will often feel specifically a vibration that is located in certain chakras. And I don't know if this is just me. This is something I need to talk to other astral projectors about. But I will often feel this vibration in my root chakra that persists after the experience. And it's like the funniest, weirdest thing ever. And I don't know what to make of it. Like maybe I need to do some meditation and align my chakras, so to speak. But I've also felt it in every other chakra, if you want to call it that. I just mean part of your body, whether it's your chest, your head, above your head, below, wherever.
Sounds like something you should talk to Buddy about. Alien Protocols. He seemed to be talking about something down there in your gut, thrusting to like initiate some kind. I mean, I have no idea, but I wonder what he would say about it. I don't know that he is awake, but what's up, Carrot?
Hey, thanks. Hey, Paul. Had a question about the vibrations. This is the best way I could describe the question, I guess. You remember in Jurassic Park where the T-Rex is coming and there's a glass of water and there's ripples of water and concentric circles
Now my
going out?
phone's freezing up on me again. Y'all can't hear me right now, can you? Or you're probably going to hear me. Oh,
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Can.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Paul, can you hear me?
Paul, can you hear Carrot?
I don't think he can. Maybe it's on
It's a
mine.
negative Ghost Rider.
I'll leave and come back.
All right.
Maybe it's me.
Paul, can you hear me? Might be Paul. You there, Carrot? Can you hear me, Carrot?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Carrot, you should change your name. Like you're a lot smarter than a carrot. It's hard to take a carrot seriously too, you know. I like it, but I can't take it seriously.
Well, all the better. That's my plan. No, I don't know. I'll take it to heart. I'll think about it.
I, for one, love carrots. So
Yeah, don't change because I said to change. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm just throwing it out there. It's hard to take you seriously. I like it though. Don't change it.
Thanks. That's too bad about Paul. But that Gary Nolan part, I thought I heard him describe it in a podcast as him feeling like he was being electrocuted. Did you hear that too, Kimball, or anybody? But that's what he.
I've
I don't
heard that.
remember that. He may have.
I've heard that, and I've had a similar experience. It's the best way to put it is to use like electricity as the medium, because that's what it is. It's like a vibration, or it's electrical. Yeah, it's an electrical field. It's like a so that's the best way to sort of describe it, because we don't really have that many words really in English language that describe all these things. So people use words that they can use that assimilate with it as closely as possible. But yeah, it gives a good idea of sort of, I guess, even someone as smart as Gary Nolan, still has to use explanatory terms like that because there's really no words to describe it. But yeah, you're right. It's like a vibration. The best way I describe it is like a TV. When you tune your TV in, like the old school, when you used to have the analog TV, you have like the black and white, then you sort of get that perfect reception. It's like that.
Yeah, because being electrocuted sounds like a painful experience versus maybe a scary one. I don't know if you felt maybe like a force field around you.
It's more like a resonance. It's more not a force field. It's more like you can sense how do you explain it? You can sense. You have to become. What it does, it's a disassociation of your perception of time, the way time you're supposed to experience it, like we normally do, and it's a separation of that from that. Whatever the hertz or whatever the frequency is, it's basically tuning out of this frequency. All right, that's the only best way to explain it. When you do, it opens up to the environment around you changes, and you can sense and see things that you couldn't see normally. And part of that experience is like it's an electrified field, and you can actually sort of like with the energy, you can sort of hear and feel the energy. There's a sound that goes with it also.
Yeah, I want to say that makes sense, but it's so hard to make sense of so much of it. But I think you make a good point. It's hard. We don't have the language yet to pick.
Sorry, I accidentally muted everyone. What were you saying, Carrot?
Oh, okay. Did you hear me a little bit at the beginning? Well, I guess
we heard everything up until the pinpoint thing.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's just it's so hard to pinpoint because there can be so many multiple experiences with between the dream space and is this? Do you feel like you're in physical reality? Do you feel like you're in in a because a lot of dreams, I always feel like dreams are built a lot of times from our memory, and then sometimes I feel like I'm in a dream where someone built a simulation for me. This is not my memory.
Right. Did you hear my experience with the Hornet earlier?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, there's like a lot of hypnagogic and hypnopompic elements where you can you're somewhere between either waking or going to sleep that can kind of mess with you. But I'd be curious to hear some of your experiences, honestly.
Man, maybe someday. We're all in different part of our journey, and
totally respect that.
Have you had them while you're awake, Carrot? That's mine have been I've had obviously dreams, but my best experiences have been while I'm awake. There, for sure. I wouldn't say they're the best. They're just, I guess they've kind of.
Real quick, guys. Sorry, Benno. It looks like Logan might be having connectivity issues, so if it drops, I'll probably start a new space.
Drop you if you mute me again, Kimball. Jokes, brother. Yeah, what I was saying was, it feels the most sort of like the ones that you call reliable experiences, the ones you kind of like really rely on, the ones when you're awake. It's pretty hard to rely on. Not hard to, but it's you don't put as much weight, or there's not as much memory, or it's not as vivid, perhaps. Maybe that's not even true either, but I don't know. As humans, we seem to default to our awake experience as being the true experience, you know. But that being said, my best experiences have been while I'm awake.
Can I just offer one counterpoint to that, which is just simply that a lot of people throw around this term that I like a lot, which is hyper real. And sorry for dropping out, by the way, guys. I know I missed a bit, but a common thing that people describe during near